It's from Killer Instinct on the Super Nintendo. Idol. He was tough to get to, and he was tough to fight. The first time I got to him, I was having dinner with my family, or my family was having dinner without me, but I was going to beat Idol, and I did, I think on my 5th try. He's just very tough, lots of good combos, very good at breaking your combos, but it's so great. Like John Street Fighter with Captain Bison, Idol is mine. Another boss I remember, and he may not be a boss, but I really do consider him to be the toughest opponent. Medieval Total War 2, the Pope. If he caused a crusade against you, you're excommunicated, it's just nothing you can do. But when you become the Pope, you start calling the shots of Christendom. You are in charge of empires, who you want to go to war with, what territories you want. Being the Pope is the best thing you could be in as a Christian nation in medieval. However, getting to that point takes a lot of assassinating of cardinals and other popes and ruining other empires. But once you do that, once you reach the top dog, you're never going to go back down. Killing mofos is the Christian way. He's a popular boss, but I liked him because he still frightens me to this day. Resident Evil 4, It, or U3. You couldn't beat him in the cage, you just had to run. You were helpless. And I remember by the third time, my third run through, I had every magnum bullet saved up for that fight. I believe it's 42 bullets. That's how many it takes to kill him. Terrifying, tough, worth it. An extremely good challenge in the Resident Evil series boss lineup. Master Hand on the N64 for Super Smash Bros. He wasn't the toughest fight even in the N64 era, but it was just a real cool fight, and that you're fighting the hand that is feeding you or playing with you. In the intro video, you're suggested that you're kind of like toys or play things. So I've always wondered, are you really fighting this kid, this young teen's hand, and just oppression against the institution? What is it? But the fight itself is really cool. The ending was awesome, and I can recall going through every character in that game at least twice, just to fight the Master Hand. Honorable mentions: King K. Rool, Donkey Kong 64. You had to face him with all your characters in a big boxing ring and other scenarios, if I recall. And it was such a really enjoyable fight. It took about 15 to 20 minutes, or maybe it could have just been longer or shorter, but it felt like an extended boss fight. The Moon off Tau Volantis, Dead Space 3. I enjoyed fighting an entire planet as a human being. And Debiliatis of Haunting Ground. Your first encounter with the big man himself, it wasn't tough, but it was fun fighting the guy that's been chasing you for the past few hours, and you had nothing but Huey to stand between you and him. So that's when you finally took the initiative and defeated him. And it was either up to you if you were going to let him live, or hurt him, or just walk away peacefully.
Just a couple of honorable mentions I had to trim off my list. One is from the Kingdom Hearts series. Love these games, and actually I would argue that the boss I enjoyed the most from them is from both 1 and 2, and that's Sephiroth. For you Final Fantasy VII fans out there, you know that this guy means business. He's pretty tough, and the Kingdom Hearts games are no exception to that rule. I actually had a friend of mine who was over at my house writing an essay for college, and he and I had this bet, like, can I write my paper first, or can I beat Sephiroth on Kingdom Hearts 2 first? And I think I just barely squeezed in that victory. It was a good one. It's a tough one, very punishing if you don't do it right, but very rewarding in the end. And another honorable mention I wanted to bring up, again, don't own a physical copy of this game, but from the original Metal Gear Solid game, Psycho Mantis. If you've played this game, you know exactly what's going on here. This guy messes with not Snake, the player, or the character, but you, the player. He has you put your controller down on the table, and makes it vibrate like, oh, I'm telekinetic, I'm messing with you in your real world. He'll read some games on your memory card, which is funny if you actually don't have anything saved on there, because he's like, oh, I can't read your mind, what's going on? But if you've played other games, he'll be like, I see you enjoy Castlevania or whatever it is. And then it comments on how much you save and whatnot. And the gimmick to it is that he will dodge every single one of your attacks unless you unplug your controller and plug it into the second port. In which case he's like, I can't read your mind anymore, what's going on? So it was just not a difficult battle, but very gimmicky, and I just think it was a very, very creative move on the developer's part.
For my honorable mentions, and there's probably a lot that I'm going to leave off unintentionally, just because I made my list kind of last minute here, and so I know there's a lot that I forgot. But one that just barely missed the cut, I was sure up until the last minute I was going to leave it on there, is the airship battle from the airship boss battle from Ninja Gaiden on Xbox, and that's just a ridiculously tough game anyway. And that level, the whole airship level, I struggled with for a long time. And so I got to the boss, and that cutscene I saw after beating that airship boss battle was super rewarding. Just because, again, like the Unalesca fight, it was so tough. It was just a tough battle and so rewarding. Other one is any of the bosses, really. Like, I guess it's weird because your bosses are the whole game in Mike Tyson's Punch-Out, and figuring out those different fighters' patterns and really figuring them out and moving on, advancing to the next one, that's really rewarding. I think the first one that gave me trouble was King Hippo. You had to figure out, based on the, again, no internet to look it up, you had to figure out based on the band-aids over the belly button that you had to hit him in the belly, which left his face open to other attacks. I think is that how it worked? I don't even remember. Maybe he kept punching him in the belly, and he kept dropping his pants. That was probably it. But that was a good one. And Bald Bull is usually where I got stuck, and I think I beat him like a couple times. So Bald Bull always gave me trouble. And my final honorable mention boss battle is Galactus from Marvel vs. Capcom 3. All the versus Marvel vs. Capcom series, or the X-Men vs. Capcom series, have really good boss battles. Galactus was really good too. In the third installment, you had to fight like clones of your characters, and then you got to fight Galactus, and Galactus was enormous, had these attacks that you almost couldn't get away with, or away from, and so figuring out how to defeat him was really rewarding, and it was a big epic fight because he was huge, took up the whole screen, and you're basically battling just this giant fist that's smashing you around, so pretty cool boss battle on that.